friends, if we want to take the journey which began with Buddha, which began with the struggles, which came up with the struggles of Jyotirao Phule, Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar, and the making of Indian Constitution, if today we want to take it clear further, we have to be absolutely clear that today these Shramanic values are being opposed, and there is an attempt to suppress them by presenting this politics in the name of Hindu religion. Of course, it is very clever move that they will not spell out, they will say all goody things, but how does the damage take place? Damage takes place by indoctrinating their cadres, boys, indoctrinating their boys, and in what form they indoctrinate, as I told you. So those boys further, boys, girls I am going to bring in shortly, just wait for that. Those boys go and form different organization. It may be Bajrang Dal, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Vanvasi Kalyana Ashram, ABVP may be there, your friends here, they are also part of that. So all these organizations, their central goal is to assist the agenda of Hindu nationalism so that the central agenda of Brahmanism can be upheld. To summarize, how I distinguish on one side Shramanic agenda, on the other side Brahmanic agenda, two people I am putting forward to you. Of course, Mohan Bhagwat has made my job difficult by saying that we accept a constitution also. I know it's a eyewash, but still I have to deal with him. But so far, there was one Sar Sangh Chalak of RSS, I don't know whether you have heard of his name. There was one person, K. Sudarshan. You have heard, no? Such names you should not hear anyway if you are very stupid. Okay. Right, K. Sudarshan. Now, K. Sudarshan became Sar Sangh Chalak in year 2000. He frankly said, Indian constitution is based on the Western values. Throw it away and bring a constitution based on the Holy Indian book. Which Holy Indian book? Obviously Manusmriti. So please see, this side is Ambedkar. What is he doing? He is burning Manusmriti and bringing in Indian constitution. And K. Sudarshan was making my job easier by telling me that Indian constitution is Western, throw it away and bring back Manusmriti in the modern refined form. So today's attack, if we want to build up the movement for Shramans, that's where I am more concerned. I am concerned that the central value of equality has to be struggled for. And for that, one last exercise I will give you, since there are many of you students, so I feel more comfortable with students because they answer the question. So I want to prove in 2 lines how RSS agenda is against equality. Equality of caste, equality of gender. I'll begin with gender because so far we have not talked much of gender. So my first question to explain RSS agenda is, first tell me the full form of RSS. Very good, thank you very much. Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, now a grammar test. No fail, all pass. Grammar test. Tell me Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, masculine gender or feminine gender? Very good, thank you very much. Now, so can women be the part of that? No. Fortunately not. But they should be made use of or not? They have to be made to work for this goal. And so what do? We form another organization called Rashtra Sevika Samiti. So nice. Now please listen to me. Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, Rashtra Sevika Samiti. Something is missing. Swayam. Very good. What is Swayam? Swayam is my being. According to every male-dominated patriarchal ideology, that be of Christian fundamentalism, that be of Taliban, that be of Muslim Brotherhood, or that be of RSS, it regards that the Swayam of women should be in the pocket of man. That's why probably men's shirts have got pocket. No research on that. Okay, so this is Swayam. Okay, now second comes in the form of caste. In the form of caste, multiple things, integral humanism and lot of lovely things they will tell you, but basically it means that they say that our society is like a human body. Wrong analogy. In our body, eyes do the work of seeing, ears do etc., different parts do their own work. So similarly, in our society, different group of people should do their own work. And a change of that will disturb the social equilibrium. That's why they gloriously called integral humanism. Totally wrong. So friends, to end my thing, I want to quote one sentence from Karl Marx, which I think we all have to keep in mind. What is that? Philosophers have interpreted the world in so many ways. Point, however, is to change it. So how do we change? How do we see that the struggle which Buddha laid the foundation, which Jyotirao Phule brought forward, which Ambedkar took further, what do we do for that today? Number one, RSS as such has been expanding fast, very fast. With this government coming to power, it has gone into the faster mode. 30% more branches in last 4 years. So if they come to power for next 5 years, probably you need not have to have this seminar. You need not discuss Brahmanism, Shamanism. Brahmanism will be in your pocket or will be ruling you. So that is one point. Second point is that basically we want to see that human values which are given in Indian Constitution have to be upheld. And all those organizations today which raise the issues related to emotions. Ram temple, mandir wahi banayenge. Arey bhai, if you want mandir, there are no shortage of mandirs. Why you want some more mandir? Mandir wahi banayenge. Gau hamari mata hai. Ab gau hamari mata hai. Lot of problems. Gau mata hai to pita kaun hoga? I don't know. Lot of problems. And then of course they claim Swami Vivekananda, our Swamiji. Swami Vivekananda belongs to everybody. But they don't read Swamiji, but they put Swamiji on you and try to suppress the thing. So friends, in the last I want to appeal that please do something to stop this march of Brahminical attack. And Brahminical attack, this time, earlier it was having half pants, now full pants. Still more dangerous. So you have to be careful about it. So this Brahminical attack has to be countered. How? 3 points. Number one, I may not belong to any particular religion, but point is that whatever moral values have come from different religions, I respect them. We should not hate Muslim, Hindu, Muslim king, destroyed temples, Muslim kings, forcible convention. Kancha, my friend Kancha Hilaiya has beautifully said that mainly Islam came here because of the caste system. And same thing Swami Vivekananda also says. While these followers of Swami Vivekananda deliberately want to ignore it. So Muslim king, very bad, destroyed temples, came on the horseback with sword in one hand, Quran in the other. How can that be possible? If you are sitting on the horseback, if you have sword in one hand, Quran in the other, who will drive the horse? But all those things have become the part of popular understanding. Ground for hatred against some people. And hate is the most destructive phenomenon in our society. Hate leading to violence and violence leading to polarization. And our Indian society, which built up through freedom movement, coming together of Ambedkar, Bhagat Singh, freedom movement and all that they want to disrupt, to bring in a Hindu this thing. So what do? You have to think. I appeal, each of us must give some time to reduce this hatred in the society, number one. Each of us, it may be through whatever mechanisms you can think. Number two, each of us has to see that this type of politics which is going on in the name of Hinduism is the biggest enemy, biggest opponent of the values of humanism. We want humanism, we want the values which have come up, and those values to preserve that. What other things we can do to promote amity, to promote the social movements of the weaker sections of society, to associate with different sections who are suffering in the society. We need a broader platform. We build a broader platform so that we can uphold Indian Constitution and the inherent values of equality. Thank you very much. Yeah, sure.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm an Erasmus, and I would like to say that RSS is really suppressing rationalists and free thinkers in the name of Hindutva.
Yeah.
And in the same case, these rationalists is going egotic. Everybody with their own ideology. There is no unity among the nationalists, communists, and Ambedkarists, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So we need unity. This is the time of unity. If not,
Agreed.
within next 5 years will be suppressed, and this will become one more Afghanistan or Syria.
Yeah.
And we need a joint action committee in whole India. So senior citizens like you and scholars like you should think of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'll fully endorse whatever friend is saying. It is not controversial. Probably in the era of social media, where social media is being abused, we can make this positive use, and all of those those of us who want to promote this rationalism and equality in the society, we should, I think, come together, and what our friend is suggesting, I think we should give a small clap for such a good suggestion. Yeah.
Shamans.
Yeah.
Shamanism, shamans.
Yes.
Are shamans, the people who are following a particular ideology, that is against the Brahmanism,
Yeah.
were in existence before the advent of Buddhism, number one, or they
Sorry,
or is it a
one minute.
continuation of
Sorry. Are shamans what?
are shamans,
Hmm.
whose ideology is, as against that of Brahmanism.
I'll answer one by one. See, I think Kancha Ilaiah has beautifully answered this. Shamans are the people who labor with their hands. Shamans are the people who are the producers in the society. So that is, I think, very elementary. Kancha Ilaiah so beautifully pointed out. So next question, yeah.
No, the question is, all shaman, there was an ideology of named Shamanism,
Yeah.
existed before, Buddhism.
Yeah.
And is it a continuity of the legacy of Indus Valley civilization?
Okay, yeah.
That's my
See, basically, I think what I'm interested in more, before or after is one thing. What I am interested, because probably earlier you are taking me to the history, in the Vedic period, whether there were Shramanic, obviously there may be small trains which I am not very sure, but basically in India, if you want to see Shraman tradition, Buddhism is a Shraman tradition, Jainism is a Shraman tradition, Nath, Tantra, Bhakti, Shaiv, Siddhant, these were the all Shraman tradition. But your questions, I think I'll have to look at it, whether Shraman traditions existed before Vedic times or they came after the Brahminical counter religion. I'll work on that and I'll be in touch on that with you. Yeah.
You discussed in one of our topics, the true secularism was practiced by Shivaji by having Muslims as his heads of
Soldiers. Generals.
And then Akbar having Hindus.
Yeah.
I think that would have impressed my audience.
Our friend is asking that was Shivaji practicing true secularism, as Shivaji had Muslim generals also, Hindu generals also. Was Akbar practicing secularism because Akbar had Muslim soldiers also and Hindu soldiers also? Can I add this to his sentence? Actually, the best example I give of king of one religion and employees belonging to all the religions. One example I'll give you. In Akbar's court. In Akbar's court, there were some Navratnas in Akbar's court. Yes, no. Yes. Can you name some of the Hindu Navratnas? Birbal, very good. Birbal is very popular because he was jocular. But the other person who was more serious in Akbar's court, his name was Raja Todarmal. And why he was more important? Because Raja Todarmal in Akbar's court was doing the same thing which today in Modi government Arun Jaitley is doing. Now, secularism is a modern concept. What our friend is pointing out, this cannot be called secularism. This was a power dynamics. Secularism comes with the formation of a modern secular state. That state does not distinguish between your one religion and the other. So primarily it is that. Now kings by perforce, this is a communal historiographic concept, that Hindu king versus Muslim king. This was a British plant into this thing. But as such, armies had mixed character and even their officers had mixed character. We, of course, in North India, we discuss a lot about Kashmiri Pandits. So I was doing some research on that. I came to know that the title Pandit to Kashmiri Hindus, have you ever thought why we don't call them Kashmiri Hindus? All call them Kashmiri Pandits. Why? Because those Hindus who were working in Akbar's court, Akbar regarded them as very learned and he gave them the title of Pandit. So I think our friend's question is very valuable. What he points out that in Muslim King's Court also Hindu officers, Hindu King's Court also Muslim officer, but this cannot be called secularism technically, because technically these are kingdoms. In kingdoms this is separate, and in modern nation state it becomes a secular policy. But I think what he has pointed is very important. Actually the main hatred is created because of that. Our great Shivaji, Aurangzeb attacked him. I also got affected once for 2 minutes. But then I read about Aurangzeb and Shivaji. I came to know that Aurangzeb did not come to meet Shivaji. On behalf of Aurangzeb who came, his name was Raja Jai Singh. Very nice. I felt relaxed. I said, no problem. Our Shivaji continues to be great. Yes.
Sir,
Yeah.
what is the real definition of secularism?
Yeah.
Is it a
Secular.
combination of religions?
No.
Or
See, there are two things, which is that earlier, if you know, that there is a clergy and there is a king. So clergy-king alliance was broken by French Revolution, right? And here the state and religion, there is a partition. That now Pope will not guide what king should do, and king should not tell what Pope should do, like roughly. So one say it is a iron curtain between state and the religion. In Indian context it is said respecting all the religions in the equal measure. So here you are doing something for Kumbh Mela, your government is providing facilities, similarly you provide facilities for Hajj Yatra also. So that, but the Muslim cleric is not going to tell you what policies to make, that type of thing, what we call secularism. But unfortunately what has happened, that our constitution also has provisions that weaker sections of society need to be backed up. There has to be affirmative action, and that affirmative action for weaker sections of society, on one side reservation is opposed, on one side small concessions or things given to the Muslim community, they are also presented more as appeasement. Now appeasement word everybody knows and it is popular, but you will be surprised, Sachar committee tells us that Muslim community is standing on the lowest rung of development, economic development in our society, etc., etc. Yeah.
Yeah, the birth of the word secularism in the context that different denominations of this security are fighting together. And we thought it cannot be compatible with Indian context. That's number one. Number two is, when one particular denomination has given power to deal with the king, then automatically injustice will be done to other denominations of the particular social context. So that's why the idea put forth by the nomenclature of the word secularism is, state should be away from the religion. Thank you.
Yeah. One question has come to me. What is leading to the silent Sanskritization in India? What is leading to the silent Sanskritization in India? Very profound question. I think we all need to think about it. Sanskritization actually is a continuation of, I think, Brahminical influence, and in our mindset, which is actually with the coming of freedom movement, actually with coming of modern industrialization and education, the feudal power their power should have been zeroed. They should have been neutralized. But in India what happened? The rising groups came up, industrialist workers and the modern educated classes, and the older groups continued. Because the older groups continued, all this whole thing revolving around Brahminism, etc. continued, and that's why Sanskritization basically is looking up to the upper caste. And that is a sign of continuation of the caste system somewhere in the society, somewhere in our minds. So both this Sanskritization is a complex process in that sense, and that is the basic reason about that. And for the next step I'll go that with the new changes which are coming up, if we don't halt it, Sanskritization process will become stronger, and that is the threat if the present pattern of things keep going on in the society.
Sir, the organized form of the Brahmanism, political Brahmanism comes after the establishment of RSS in the year 1925. But that time the Buddhism movement, that means
Keep the mic a bit separate. Yeah. At that
the
time,
organized form of
the Brahmanism after the completion of, after the establishment of the RSS in the year 1925. But the Dalit movement, it has been started by, in India, Mahatma Phule, then followed by Dr. Ambedkar. Then after that, see, after 1950, we have got our own constitution, that period onwards, throughout in India. So our movement, Dalit movement or the Ambedkar movement, whatever it may called, it is functioning everywhere. But the RSS movement, without break, it is continuously working, and it captured the political power, they can control over the country. But there is the Dalit movement, the vibrant movement becomes, then 2 or 3 years after the work, it will be dilapidated, it will be scattered, it will be broken. What is the cause? Because the Brahmin people constituted in the Indian population only 3%, but our Mughal having a 80%. Why? What is this contradiction? What is this struggle? How we can overcome this Brahmanism? In all aspects, the religious, political, economical, cultural, historical, in all aspects. Everywhere we are having a contradiction.
Yeah.
But these people are moving very smoothly. Our people is a heterogeneous community. This is also a heterogeneous community, the RSS people. But they some common interest, some commonality, they amalgamated together. They are functioning politically, religiously, in all aspects. So, how we can find out the solution for our emancipation? That's my question.
Yes, I think it's again very profound question. I must say that in India, like in Hinduism, the clergy is fragmented. Though even one Shankaracharya came, then after that 8-10 Shankaracharyas came up. And every village, every king used to have his own guru, Raja, Rajguru. Right? So the clergy that way is very fragmented, but RSS in the same way is very united. Now in Dalit movement, what has happened that after Ambedkar, probably there has not been any towering leader of that stature who could hold the movement together. And many way, like the leaders who came, they looked at a very fraction of the problem. Like Ambedkar was one who had a total vision of society, I must say. And after that you see the people like whosoever leaders have come. Now we have leaders, again second problem comes that from Dalit community, sometimes the small level leaders come and they come from a deprived background. So they are easily co-opted by other parties. You will see that. Now in central ministry, there are two Rams sitting in the central cabinet, and both the Rams are Dalit. Very surprising. So my friend Anand Tumne calls them, they are the Hanumans of the Ram. They call themselves Ram, but they are basically Hanumans of the Ram. So this is one. Second is that RS has been very active at that level also. It is creating icons from amongst the OBC Dalit community, projecting them to be anti-Muslim and projecting them to be acceptable to the community. Like, slightly giving a different example from Adivasi area. In Adivasi area, all over the city, now Lord Ram is becoming more popular. But in Adivasi areas, can you guess which is a Lord which is becoming more popular? Hanuman. And which is a goddess? Like people like us, we worship one goddess for wealth, one goddess for knowledge, one goddess for power, Durga. But in Adivasi areas, they are popularizing Shabari, totally deprived woman. So their selection is so brilliant, I must say they are very brilliant. That, I can go for Lakshmi, Saraswati, Durga. They may not like me, that's another thing. But for Adivasi, even that luxury is not there. Even Shabari is presented there. Even Lord Hanuman is presented there. So problem is very fine, very big, and I think people like you, friends like you, as my earlier friend suggested, we need to put our heads together. One is that first you counter the Brahminical political force. Second is that what can we do to see that all wrongdoings in the name of Dalit leadership, they are corrected. But hello, some good things are also there. New things have also come up. Have you noticed the name of Jignesh Mevani? So that is a hope. In this whole period of negative thinking, hopes are also coming up. There are many young leaders who are coming up, so that is a period of hope. So your question is good, but probably it requires more thinking as to how to give more sharp direction to Dalit movement. How to bring it together, how to give it sharp movement. First minimum thing is that we keep appreciating correct things, keep criticizing the wrong things. That's the minimum. That's the minimum. After that, you go ahead and let's see. Now there are two questions. Sanskritization I have answered. Do we have any sociologists like Max Weber in India who managed to analyze Hinduism apart from Baba Sahib? Now Hinduism's I don't think I can answer this competently because I myself am not from social sciences background. My background is funny, don't go into that. I will not answer this, but I'll say people like Romila Thopar, Rajni Kothari, these two names strike to me who have contributed a lot in trying to understand Hinduism, in trying to understand Indian society, these two names, but probably some sociologist friend can answer. But as far as Hinduism's critique is concerned, many of people have done the criticism, and even Jyotirmay Sharma, I think he's from Hyderabad only. Jyotirmay Sharma's one book is there on RSS, brilliant book. That analyzes the Hindutva politics very good. My friend in Delhi, Shamsul Islam, he's also critiquing RSS. Many of us, we have not done so much criticism of Hinduism, more we are trying focus on Hindutva because that's a political phenomenon. But some more people have probably to take up Hinduism for detailed analysis. So okay friends, I enjoyed it. Rest is your problem. Thank you very much.